All right.
Wait a second.
Wait a second.
Yeah, do it without raising your shoulders. Reach from down here. Down here.
Reach from your legs.
I'm recording all of it.
Okay. All right.
All right, here we go.
Are you guys listening?
Yes.
Doesn't seem like it. All right. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay. Who else is terrified of their DNA? All right. I know not many of you are. That's good. But you should be. Genetics is probably the biggest gamble of your life. Genetics applies to everyone. As you know, I'm a microbiology major. You can trust me. I've had years of experience learning about genetics. Now, your genes have been passed down for generations. It's important to know how these genes are passed down, so I'll focus on a few of these genes that are pretty important. Main one, blood type, just because donations, that's always nice. Hair color is also cool to learn about, and learning about color blindness. Those are the three that I'm going to focus on today, and you should focus because it might apply to you someday. Who here knows their blood type? Okay, cool. All right, 4 of us. Okay, so there are specific markers in your red blood cells called antigens. You have 3 main types of antigens. The first one is A, second is B, and then O is the absence of the antigens. So this forms the 4 different main types of blood, which is type A blood, type B blood, type AB, and type O blood. That also helps determine whether you're compatible with someone else to donate blood to them. Now, this type of genetic inheritance is known as multiple allelism, and it's defined by Dr. Freeman's Biological Science 7th edition, meaning more than 2 possible blood types can be found for blood. Now, you can predict the blood type of your offspring simply by knowing your own blood type. Now, if your mother has type A blood, she'll either give an A allele or an I allele, which is O. And then your father, same deal. If he's got type B blood, same thing. Now, these are the different combinations. You can either get type A blood, type AB, which has both A and B alleles. You've got type B blood, which is only B alleles, or you can also have type A and B blood using just the O allele. And right here as well, you can see it. And then this right here is the type O blood. You can only get type O blood when your parents both donate one O allele. Now this is important, obviously, for donating blood. But since I'm a microbiology major, I want to bring this to the next level. I want to talk about diseases related to blood. So sickle cell anemia is a result of genetic inheritance, causing hemoglobin, which is found in red blood cells. It's the protein for it. It helps carry oxygen to and from your heart. So sickle cell anemia makes it so that your hemoglobin is misshapen, obviously, in the form of a sickle. But you can also find, okay, let's see here. A for anemia. So if your parents are both carriers for the sickle cell anemia trait, 1/4 of their offspring, just based off of statistics, will not have, this is the sickle cell anemia allele right here. It's recessive, so it's going to have the little a. It's not dominant. And then this means that they do not have the allele at all, so they're not even a carrier for the gene. They can't pass it down to their offspring. But these 2 are carriers for it, and this one has sickle cell anemia. So if you and your future significant other both are carriers, then you could potentially produce an offspring that has sickle cell anemia. The upside is 1/2 of your offspring, statistically, could be carriers, and then 1/4 would not have it at all. Now, This is nice because carriers don't have it, so their hemoglobin still works fine. It's only a little misshapen, and this gives them the edge. Because if you ever contract malaria, if you have sickle cell anemia, you can't contract malaria because your hemoglobin is so misshapen that it can't attach on. Kind of sucks, but you know what? It happens. But if you're a carrier for it, your hemoglobin is only slightly misshapen. It can still function fine, but malaria can't work on you. You're immune to malaria if you're a carrier of sickle cell anemia, which is awesome. So it's stated by Barrera-Reyes in their 2019 article, Genetic Variation Influencing Hemoglobin Levels, that the highest rate of sickle cell anemia carriers within a population are often countries that suffer from malaria the most. This makes sense just because of evolution and natural selection, because this person with sickle cell anemia will die, just, based off of treatment, and then this person will die because they're going to contract malaria. I'm not saying they will die, actually, but, they have a high rate of dying. And this leaves the carriers, which will in turn have offspring producing more of this type, which is awesome because it makes sense and it helps us remain diverse. So, obviously, we can't know the blood type we have simply by looking at it, and we don't have the equipment to do that. But a visible heritable trait that is easily distinguishable is hair color. Now, hair color, unlike blood, is polygenic. This means that a number of genes result in your hair color. You can see that's my mom and my grandma on the left, and then that's me and my brother, and then my mom in the middle in the other picture. You can see my mom has red hair, we have blonde hair, it's all heritable. She got the red hair from her mother, I got blonde hair, and my brother got blonde hair because our mother was red-haired and our dad was dark-haired. So the polygenic trait means that some of it will be passed down, some of it won't be. And it just so happens that we ended up with blonde hair. Now, Benito Martinez, in their Research Techniques Made Simple article, stated that hair color is the result of melanin synthesis, which is a pigment known as, it's also responsible for different skin colors. But now, more importantly, again to the disorders, because I am a microbiology major, is male pattern baldness. Now, Data Monitor's 2014 worldwide survey concerning appearance-related issues in men found that 29% of men are concerned about being or becoming bald. This is important because we don't want to be bald. I especially don't want to be bald. So, this is important because, sorry, hold on, I'm writing. So, male pattern baldness, again, recessive. So, this is on the 23rd chromosome, the sex chromosome. It's a sex-linked trait. Now, the mother is a carrier for the gene. Men can't be carriers. They either have male pattern baldness or they don't. So, the woman will donate the nice allele, and then this is the male pattern baldness. Now, what ends up happening is half of the offspring will not have the allele at all, and then one half of the offspring will have the allele. 1/4 of the offspring will result in male pattern baldness. Now, okay, that's terrifying. I don't want to be bald. You don't want to be bald. None of us want to be bald. But even worse, all right, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to go over time. But if that's okay with you, I want to talk about color blindness. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead? All right, man. I'm just going to go way over time. So thanks again to this derpy-ass Y chromosome. Men are also more likely to contract color blindness.
Wow.
So I'm going to use this same thing. XBB. XBB. Don't worry about my handwriting, guys. So as you can see, if the mother is a carrier and the father is perfectly fine, isn't even colorblind, then this means that one half of the offspring will not have the allele. Another fourth of the offspring will not contract colorblindness because this is the dominant trait. So they're going to see normal. The woman's going to see normal. This guy, though, this man, is going to be colorblind in some fashion. So colorblindawareness.org reveals that approximately 1 in 12 men and 1 in 200 women have color vision deficiency. That's pretty substantial. And I also found out that Ibeshi's article titled Genetic Testing for Color Vision Deficiency states that red-green colorblindness is about 100 times more common than blue-yellow blindness, which I didn't even know existed. But anyway, that's beside the point. Look around the room. Heredity is one of the coolest aspects of our lives. It allows for great variety and differences within even this classroom. Your genes are part of what makes you, you. So it's important to know how some of these genes are passed down through the generations. I'm terrified of my DNA, but I also really appreciate how it has given me my traits. And you all should appreciate yours as well. Thank you.